This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening and welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel tonight. Let me tell you, there's a lot to dig into when it comes to the Oilers today because, my goodness, Sportsnet employees Mark Spector and Jay Woodcroft. Love you, Jay. Love you. And I mean this with all sincerity. Jay Woodcroft has run out of ideas less than a year into his tenure, I fear. We'll discuss that more in detail in a minute, but let's get back to that point on Mark Spector is employed by Sportsnet to do what exactly? At this point, I'm not sure. Anyway, folks, today, if you're new to the channel, what I want you to do is consider hitting that subscribe button on the channel. Love to have you along for the rest of the season. That'd be great. And of course, hopefully see the Oilers figure out what's going on here this past 17 start to the season games, whatever we've been through. All right, what do you want to dig into first? Do you want to dig into the fact that the Oilers, oh my goodness, that green screen. I tell you, every couple of months it goes all for crap. But what do we want to dig into first? Do we want to dig into the fact that Sportsnet still employs Mark Spector, or that Mattias Janmark is on the Edmonton Oilers' top line at practice today? Think I'd prefer to talk about Mattias Janmark being up there with McDavid and Hyman, and then Nuge, Draisaitl, and Fogle being on the second line. I actually like that one. That's actually a pretty good combination, I think, in my opinion. The third line's Costin, McLeod, and Puljujarvi. That's I see that benefiting really well. You know what? McLeod and Puljujarvi, say all you want about Puljujarvi being demoted here. I love McLeod and Puljujarvi together because they are two hard-working young kids who love to just make havoc in the offensive zone for the opponents. They might not score all the time, but they wear down the opponents, and that's when McDavid's line comes over and does their thing, and away you go. You win hockey games. And then the fourth line is what it is. But, right, Mattias Janmark on the top line. Jay, I love ya. But this screams, I'm scratching my head to try and figure out what the heck to do here because I don't know what to do. And that's not a good thing because that's a Dave Tippett thing, that's a Todd McLellan thing, that's a Ken Hitchcock thing, and for some reason something the Oilers have not been able to figure out with current roster configuration with Connor McDavid on the team for years. So quite frankly put, I don't know what to do. So I could sit here and give you an opinion. I could give you an opinion on the Oilers lines. I could give you the kind of regular run-of-the-mill Dolynny TV hot take, kind of slam somebody, say something stupid, make somebody angry, get an angry whack of comments in my favor. I'm not going to do that because, quite simply put, at this point for the Oilers, we just gotta figure out. We just gotta figure this out and start putting up results. Because I'll tell you, as well as I know. And it's 3 minutes and 10 seconds into the video. These videos are getting a lot harder to record than they used to. 3 minutes and 10 seconds in, I know a lot of the hardcore Dolynny TV watchers are still watching, and anyone waiting for my comments on Mark Spector are still watching. So, I'll tell you right now, because you're watching, still, is the fact of the matter is, right now with this Oilers team, we're in a U-curve. We're at the dip of a U-curve. The Oilers are not on a 10-game losing streak. Ken Holland is not about to be fired. Jay Woodcroft is not about to lose his job. So we're not here. We are right here. Because we're also not winning 10 in a row and looking like we're going to beat the Colorado Avalanche in 4 games in the Western Conference Final and sweep them, reverse last year and go win the Stanley Cup 4-1 this year. We're not looking like we're going to do that. So we're at this bottom of the U-curve where we're okay, we're not bad. Connor McDavid's doing Connor McDavid things, so some people are alright, it's all good. And this U-curve is the worst thing about hockey YouTube, worst thing about Edmonton Oilers YouTube, is because if you're at the bottom where my wrists are, nobody wants to hear what you have to say. Nobody cares what you have to say. The comments dry up, the likes on the videos dry up, the views on the videos dry up, simply because it just does not matter. The Oilers, the only thing that matters is them putting up better results. They're not terrible, and that's kind of the problem, is they're not terrible, but they're also not good. And nobody cares when you're not terrible but not good. If you're not at the point you're going to fire someone, call me when you're at the point you're going to fire someone. If not, when you're doing good, I'll care again. And here's the thing. Folks, I've gotten to meet a lot of people that watch Dolynny TV over the past year and a half. But it all goes back to one very nice gentleman who walked into my store in Airdrie way back Christmas 2018, Christmas 2019, I can't remember. But it was like Christmas Eve. The man was there to buy a part that I had on the shelf. And he said, "Hey, yeah, sorry I haven't been watching lately." And I'm like, "Oh, why?" He's like, "Well, team sucks, right? We're on a 5-game losing streak. What? Well, like, why?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay. So that's a thing." And I mean, right? Ignorance, right? Until somebody tells you that, you don't understand what's going on. Now I've got this U-curve idea in my mind, and it all makes sense. I sound like a complete crazy guy right now, but don't mind me. It's been a long day. I went to bed at 6:20 last night. Talk about a long day. Anyway, yeah, so that's where we find ourselves there, right? Is simply put, is we're in the deep of the U-curve, and there seems to be no end in sight because now Mattias Janmark's on the top line, and quite frankly, nobody's really going to care about that because prove me wrong, prove me right, just prove me something. Don't keep treading water, and that's what the Oilers are doing at this point. Now, the Mark Spector comments today, just literally choosing things to be upset about and then putting a player's name in the "it's his fault" line. I mean, I'm sorry, if that's the journalism level you're paying for out of your senior hockey reporter for the Oilers, I really don't get Sportsnet. I'm sorry. That it's not that the talent pool is so deep that they should be employing other people. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying fire Mark Spector. I'm not coming down on him for doing his job. But this is coming from a guy that went to media school. Okay, this is coming from a guy who tried to live the dream that Mark Spector's living right now. Is that article, just skimming it and just reading a couple of lines, looks like I'm tired of saying the same thing, so I'm going to crap something out that is just argumentative for the point of being argumentative. And that, to me, is not what a senior hockey reporter should be doing for the Oilers. But it's what Sportsnet's paying Mark Spector to do. Hate that comment, love that comment all you want. It's my opinion. But it's frustrating, right? For me, seeing the guys that get to do what I wish I got to do for a living, but also make it impossible for me to do what I want to do for a living because they're there and I'm not. And to see that level of lack of care, lack of effort, I think is what really slants me here, by Mark Spector on this article to try and explain something that's a chronic problem for the Oilers by just, well, the Oilers this, so it's that guy's fault. Oh, the Oilers this, so it's that guy's fault. Really seems like a shot at us, the fans. You know, like, really seems like a shot at me as somebody who does this on YouTube of, man, like, why do I even try to add any value to anything I do when this guy gets paid a living wage to do what he does? Right? It's a slant. That's really all that's got me upset tonight, is I feel slanted by that article, and it's not even really about the Oilers. It's about the level the article was written at, and I really don't think there's anything really of substance in there other than just writing an article because he's mandated to write X amount of articles via his employment contract with Sportsnet. I don't know. Somebody prove me wrong on that. Somebody go out there and actually say something to the contrary because I would love to hear it. But folks, that's it. You know what? I'm going to end the video right there. Chew on that all night. Really don't care. I'm going to sit here and watch another channel's views go up and have a good time because baseball season, the off season's hot as heck right now. And hey, you know what? At least something's going good, right? Folks, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. I'm up on out of here.